Several killed in Haiti as protesters demand resignation of President Moise. And in sport, West Indies women beat England to secure a spot in the semi-final of the ICC World T20 World Cup. I'm Ricardo Roberts, and this is Caribbean Intent for Monday, November 19th. I'll be back with the details after the break.
Junior Gong Mali has another feather in his producer's hat, as he will be the executive producer for the next album of the accomplished Third World Band. The stalwart reggae band recently released Loving You Is Easy, their first single from their upcoming album.
Every wind that blows, every wave that rolls, with the coming and going of the tides. Everyone that sees is everyone that knows, because my love can't hide. Just relaxing. No boy can't over me head with no popular.
My name is Shock Them. I'm from St. Ann, the Garden Parish, St. Ann's Bay, which is the capital. My music is all about positivity, motivational, upliftment, soul music, I sing about positivity, in my lyrics, things to uplift people. My real name is Ryan Romario Miller.
We begin in Haiti, where at least 6 people were killed and several others injured as opposition demonstrators took to the streets yesterday demanding the resignation of President Jovenel Moise. The protesters are also demanding a full investigation into the use of the funds under the PetroCaribe, the Venezuela Oil Initiative, to assist countries in the region. A spokesman for the National Police of Haiti confirmed that 6 people were killed, 5 others injured, and 20 arrested. But the opposition organizer speaking at a news conference late yesterday said that 11 people had been killed, 47 wounded, and 75 others arrested. Several people took to the streets in the capital as well as in some of the provincial cities, burning tires, paralyzing public transport, and waving black and red flags and demanding answers also to PetroCaribe. The opposition has called on supporters to stay home today, but the Secretary of State for Communication, Eddie Jackson Alexis, says the population should ignore their advice and that the police would be out in their numbers to ensure their safety. The High Court in Grenada will on Wednesday hear representations in a government-filed injunction against labor unions representing essential services public servants. Now, the matter, which was scheduled to be heard yesterday, was postponed to Wednesday to give lawyers representing both the government and the unions more time to prepare their cases. The injunction was filed by the Keith Mitchell-led administration late last week as unions in Grenada intensify industrial action in an attempt to get government to agree to a 25% gratuity for public workers. It seeks to prevent employees in essential service such as healthcare and national security from withholding their labor in protest. Government has been arguing that gratuity is not a legally binding mandate of government and that their offer of 2% is generous. In the last 2 weeks, teachers followed by public workers, including in healthcare professionals, have staged 2-day protests, including staying away from the job and go slow. Now, schools, healthcare facilities, and government offices on the island have been affected by the work to rule. This week, the unions have vowed to continue the protests, with teachers staying away from the classrooms today with a planned march and rally in St. George's tomorrow. Meanwhile, Labour Minister Peter David has scheduled a meeting with the unions today in an effort to end the industrial action and see a return of all parties to the bargaining table. A Jamaican police officer has been found guilty of murder and will be sentenced on December 20. A 6-member jury found Constable Collis Chucky Brown was found guilty in the Home Circuit Court on 3 counts of murder and a count each of conspiracy to murder and wounding with intent. We get the details in this TVJ News report. All right, we apologize for the lack of audio in that story. Stay with us. Your Midday Sport is next. Welcome back. It's now time for sport, where we take you to the current World Cup action taking place in the Caribbean, where West Indies held their nerve to beat England by 4 wickets in a last over thriller on Sunday evening, topping Group A, securing precious momentum and setting up a block-busted semi-final against Australia next Thursday. Now chasing a paltry 116 for victory at the Darren Sammy Cricket Stadium, West Indies were left needing 5 from the final over, and two byes after came off the first ball, and Shemaine Campbell holed out in the deep of the second. Left-hander Kaisia Knight calmly stroked the third ball from Seema Anya Shrubsobel and to the ropes at point to secure victory. Now, player of the match, Deandra Dutton, set up the runs chase with a robust 46 of 52 deliveries, while Campbell was superb in carving out 45 of 42 balls to sustain the tempo of the innings. Their knocks pulled the reigning champions out of trouble after they had slumped to 3 runs for 2 wickets in the second over, with Hayley Matthews scoring 1 and captain Stephanie Taylor both out cheaply. Taylor went for a golden duck. Now, Dutton had earlier made her mark with the ball, grabbing 2 for 21 from her 4 overs as England asked to bat first. In the top of the table clash were held to 115 for 8 of their 20 overs. And of course, England professional Naki Wells marked his return to international duty, and this is in football, after a 3-year break, by heading Bermuda to a memorable 1-0 must-win victory over El Salvador in the CONCACAF Nations League qualifier on Friday night. Now playing at a wet, windy national stadium, the 28-year-old Wells struck in the 70th minute, rising highest to convert an inch-perfect cross from Reggie Lamb as Bermuda stunned the Central American opponents, sitting 110 places ahead of them in FIFA rankings. Now, the result sparked wild celebrations from the home bench and fans alike, and kept alive Bermuda's hopes of reaching the 2019 CONCACAF Gold Cup. Now, El Salvador went into Friday's game on the back of victories over Montserrat and Barbados, while Bermuda got their campaign back on track after a 3-1 away defeat against Aruba by trouncing St. Martin 12-0. Now, at the Karani James Athletic Stadium in Grenada, the United States duo of Jamal Charles and Arthur Patterson braces as Grenada trumps St. Martin by 5-2 to notch their first win. That's Caribbean in 10. Join us again at 6:30 for Caribbean Newsline. Good afternoon.